Welcome, guys, in another episode of Crickwood, one of the biggest action films of 2019. Sorry for the statement. One of the biggest action films of the Bollywood industry till date. The last week blockbuster release, Saaho, leaving an impeccable impression towards the audience by not only its promising action scenes but the suspense, the cinematography, the screenplay, and I will need a separate video for its appreciation. This was the level being set by the director Mr. Sujit Reddy and couple of producers Mr. V. Vamshi Krishna Reddy and Mr. Pramod Uppalpatti. A film with a budget of more than 350 plus crores completely justifies its hard work and starring brilliant actor Shraddha Kapoor, Hollywood personality Jackie Sir, Mandira Bedi, Mahesh Manjrekar, Murli Sharma and a dozen of actors listing below. I know, guys, what you are thinking. Before abusing me or getting angry on me, let me clear you one thing. Tigers don't need introduction. And I am a very fine particle before this great personality. So I am no one to give his introduction to you. Especially Prabhas fans must have got this. In today's show, I will tell you some never heard facts about the movie Saaho. Number 1. After the greatest blockbuster in the Indian cinema history, the Bahubali Part 1 and second, giving more than 5 years to a film, and after completing its schedule, Mr. Prabhas wanted to do a light film, for example, an love story or a family drama, because Prabhas sir was so tired wearing all those heavy stuff in Bahubali that he was not ready physically or mentally for one more film like Bahubali or somewhat close to it. But after the end of Bahubali series, Mr. Sujit's script was almost ready for Saaho, and a young blood or a teenager, which director would not want to cast and superstar like Prabhas? Within a month, the script was ready, on which he was working since last 2 years. Mr. Sujit put forth the idea before the legend, and after reading its script and looking its high budget professionalism, Prabhas sir were unable to reject the script or ignore this. And this is how it was all started. Number 2. The main hectic thing in making of this film was the dubbing part, which took more than 6 months, as we all know that this film was shot in Hindi, which is often Tamil, Telugu and Malayalam languages were specially dubbed because of the fan base Prabhas sir carries with him in the South film industry. Prabhas sir were excellent in his genre of his languages, but he faced a lot of pronunciation difficulties while dubbing this in Hindi. And completely opposite thing was happening with Miss Shraddha Kapoor. She was excellent in Hindi dubs, but she actually had to sit overnight and learn her dialogues, like we call Ratta Marna in Hindi. And height was when she gave up dubbing in Telugu and someone else did the voiceover for her. So it was completely opposite, but as we all know, opposite poles attract. Such a beautiful chemistry of these two was seen on the screen in Saaho. Number 3. If you read on Wikipedia someday regarding Saaho film's introduction, it shows action plus thriller. And when it comes to the action scenes with a big budget, any director would obviously go for Mr. Prabhas. Dashing looks through these trucks and all the stunts in Saaho which have been performed are just mind-blowing. Mr. Sujit wanted to make most of the use of Prabhas sir's height, which is a big advantage. But when Saaho's script was completely fried, there were enough of action scenes, because till that time Prabhas sir didn't say a yes for this film. But after shooting couple of action scenes, director just had a chat with Mr. Prabhas and appreciated his performance, and according to the plans, they made this film a complete action package bomb. And as you all can see his dashing appearances in the action scenes, it just suits you, Prabhas sir. Number 4. A screenplay film, or in a simple way, a commercial film, is very tough for shooting. Not only the action scenes, but the way the cinematographers, followed by the director, needs to show every single thing to the audience in a cinematic way, like this shot of Mr. Neil Nitin Mukesh. Mr. Sujit had clearly informed Prabhas sir to start watching a lot of Guy Ritchie's films like Usual Suspects and 007, because Prabhas sir never did this kind of films before and he was not interested in screenplay films. Bahubali was, but both films' action scenes, if you compare, are too different. So slowly Mr. Prabhas went on getting to know these films deeply. His interest kept on building day by day, and one point of time he was totally interested in a screenplay film like this, and he was all set for the shoots. Number 5. After seeing such a massive box office success of Saaho, which is an pan-Indian film that is action blockbuster, Prabhas's interest towards these kind of films have developed more. In an interview, he cleared that he might be seen in the commercial films at the theaters and on the critics part. That is, Saaho has been rated as 2.5-star film by the critics, so he will definitely come back stronger in his next big project and would try his best to change the perception of critics. Number 6. Biggest unheard fact. As the director wanted to invest more in the action scenes compared to other things in the film, he went to the famous and the greatest stuntsman of Hollywood industry, Mr. Kenny Bates. But as Kenny sir were too busy because of his tight schedule for upcoming movies, he had to say a sorry to Mr. Sujit. But when Sujit sir told him regarding the star cast, which includes the legend Mr. Prabhas Uppalpatti, sorry after 2 weeks turned into a big yes. And Mr. Kenny later frankly cleared that the gem of a person that is Prabhas, I couldn't have said a no to Mr. Sujit if I knew this before. And have a look guys, the humble nature worked, and finally rupees 90 crores budget was been finalized for all the action scenes of Saaho. Number 7. As it was time for wrapping up the shoots of Saaho and the film was almost ready, hardly 3-4 weeks were left, and human nature is that we get connected towards the things that we everyday come across, and Saaho almost took 2.5 years for its shoots and edits, and a bond was created between Shraddha ma'am and Prabhas sir and whole crew, the whole star cast, and everyone was so used to it. Shraddha ma'am at the last day got quite emotional. In an interview, Shraddha ma'am said, as I was feeling that shoots are going to end soon and I had created a great bond with the whole crew and the star cast, the director, the producers, and there were tears in my eyes at the last day of the shoots. But we need to move forward. Life doesn't stop. So is the Saaho. Unstoppable. With more than 350 plus crores of box office collection and still counting. Prabhas sir, you are an amazing human being, and so is Shraddha ma'am, and keep giving us blockbusters every year, and you are a legend by your work and your nature. And congratulations to the whole Saaho team for such a massive success at the box office. And for wrapping up this video, but till that, be pumped up, work hard, God bless you all, bye bye.